Today I have the keys to the 2020 Fiat 124 Spider Abarth. Huge shout out to Benson Fiat and Alfa Romeo for providing this vehicle for me today. Definitely check out their website, that will be in the description. This model here is finished off in Mare Blue Metallic and it has an MSRP just over $36,000. But let's go ahead and get into today's review by starting up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 1.4 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This model here is paired to the 6-speed manual. It produces 164 horsepower, around 5,500 RPM, and 184 pound-feet of torque as low as 3,200 RPM. This is rear-wheel drive. It weighs in around 2,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in the mid 6-second range with a top speed of 144 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 11.9 gallons, you can expect to see around 26 miles per gallon in the city and 35 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 90.9 inches. Its overall length is 159.6. It has a width of 68.5 inches and a height of 48.5 inches. With all those specs out of the way now, let's go ahead and jump into the exterior walkaround on the 124 Spider. I'm going to start up front with the LED headlights and the LED DRLs. I really like how they surround the headlights. I think that's a really cool design within the housing. You can see down below this has fog lights along with the turn signals. And then making our way to the grille, there's really nice cutouts in the mesh to provide maximum cooling for that turbocharged engine. The Abarth badge is nice and large on the top section of the bumper. And then there's a really nice color contrasting trim on the lower section of the bumper just to break up the blue. Working our way up to the hood, you can see there's really nice bulges running down it, along with a line on both sides that actually continues down the front bumper here. It goes all the way to the edge, just giving it a really cool design. So I like the front profile, but as we work our way to the side profile, this has 17 by 7 inch wheels. They are finished off in a gunmetal finish, along with the side mirrors and the side skirt piece, just to give it a really cool look against that blue. This model also has the optional Brembo brakes, so you'll see those red calipers on the front and rear wheels. You can see the Abarth badge on the front quarter panel, and then really nice lines running down the side. The 124 is only offered in the Spider version, so we have the top down at the moment, and you can easily put that up. It is manual adjusting, and it takes a matter of seconds to put it up or down. So it's very easy to do, and it looks great whether it's up or down. So I really like how they've incorporated the design with the top up and the top down. But that leads us on now to the rear end of the 124 Spider. This has LED taillights, a backup camera in the trunk lid there, along with the third brake light. You can see the badge on the right side, along with the Abarth badge up top. And then down below, this has the quasi-style stainless steel dual Mazda exhaust. Time to take a look at the interior on the 124 Spider. I have the vehicle locked. All I'm going to do is push on this black button on the back side, and that's how you lock and unlock the vehicle, so it's very easy to do. But now as we take a look at the door panel, you'll see it's finished off with very nice materials. We have the window controls along with the side mirror adjustments. This also has a 6-speaker audio sound system. You'll see the release handle is finished off in a nice brushed aluminum, along with the grab handle. As we work our way to the seats now, we have the Recaro leather seats. You can see the badge just in the center, along with dark red piping. It has a really nice design to it. There are speakers in the headrest as well. We have really aggressive bolsters with Alcantara inserts that have a really nice design. And you have all the controls on the sides. These are manual adjusting forwards and rear, and you have lumbar support as well. But now as we take a look at the steering wheel, you'll see that it's completely covered in leather. We have solid leather running around the outside and perforated leather on the inside, along with red stitching. Has a really nice comfortable feel to it and nice brushed aluminum accents. On the right side is all of the cruise control settings. On the left side is Bluetooth along with volume for the radio and voice commands. And then you have an info button as well that will control the left gauge cluster. So you can see your range, your average MPG along with your current MPG. You have your average miles per hour. You can see the fuel gauge along with the engine temperature. Right in the center we have the red tack, which is really nice to see right in the middle. Speedometer is off and to the right side. Working our way to the left side, you'll see the traction control button along with one air vent. And then right in the center we have the 8.3-inch screen. This screen is pretty easy to go through. It is a touchscreen system as well. But I'm going to go ahead and use the rotary dial down below, which I'll show here in a second. So you can look at your applications, you have your music and phone. We can click on that rotary dial to enter the navigation, and you can pull that up in full screen. If we click on the home button, we are back to this setting here. You can also go over to some of the different settings, like your display, your safety, your sound, and clock. So it's very easy to go through all of that information. So down below, this is what I'm using to control that. We have a shortcut to the music and home, along with navigation, rotary dial right in the center. There's also a physical button for the volume and power for the radio. You have a back button and a star button on the right side. There's the hazard button just underneath that, along with an air vent. You have one in the center and then one for the passenger. All of the climate control buttons are laid out well and easy to use. We have the temperature on the left, fan speed right in the center, and then where you'd like the air to go, along with the engine start stop button. This also has heated seats for driver and passenger, so you have 3 different settings. There's 2 USB ports just underneath that. A good amount of storage space here if you'd like to place your phone. And then with the 6-speed manual, you can see it's completely covered in leather. We have a really nice design on the top of it. If I push it down all the way over into reverse, you will see the backup camera up here with the guidelines. This has a very short feeling shifter to it, so I can't wait to get this out on the road. Just behind that, we have a toggle switch between normal mode and sport mode, and then you can see the manual e-brake that's covered in leather with more of the red stitching. Working our way to the center armrest here, you have a little bit of storage space, and then behind that, there's actually a removable cup holder, so you can place this on the driver's side, the passenger side. You can pull this out and bring it over to this side, and that way you can have a little bit more leg room or a little bit more arm room depending on what you need. In between both of the seats, this is actually the glove box for the vehicle, so you can see you have plenty of room. There is no glove box over on the passenger side, so it's very nice how they've integrated that in between both of the seats. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these leather and Alcantara seats. They have a really nice design to them. And then up top you have your dome lights. Last up, we'll go ahead and take a look at the trunk. You can either use the button on the key fob, or there is a hidden button up underneath. You can just push on that and open up the trunk. There's actually a good amount of space for 2 backpacks in the back. So you could easily put in enough items for 2 people to go on a trip, or fit groceries or anything like that. So definitely plenty of room, and then we can easily close this up. All right, so getting the Fiat 124 Spider out on the road now. It's been about 3 years since I've been behind the wheel of the Spider. The first time I drove it was in 2017. It came out about 3 years ago, and now in the 2020, it seems like there's a lot of changes. I can't exactly remember the 2017, but it definitely looks a lot different on the inside to me. Now, the unfortunate thing for the Fiat 124 Spider is 2020 is the last year for this vehicle. Kind of sad to see it go. This was partnered with Mazda. They have the Mazda MX-5 Miata, of course, and so they partnered with Mazda to create the 124 Spider. I think this is a really cool car. It has a lot of similarities to the Miata, but of course, being the Fiat version, it's going to have some differences to it as well. This is a very fun car to drive. Getting all the way down into 3rd gear, just giving it a little bit of horsepower. This has about 20 horsepower over the other 2 models. So being the Abarth, this is the top of the line. There's a Classic and a Lusso as well, which are the 2 lower trim levels from this one. So you get a little bit of increase in horsepower and torque, and it's really easy to drive. The clutch pedal is super light. It's engaging in the shifts as well. So from 1st gear, 2nd, 3rd, we got a pop in that exhaust. That sounds so good. And not doing anything too crazy. It doesn't feel like it's underpowered. These cars are not meant to have a crazy amount of horsepower. It weighs around 2,400 pounds. You can easily throw this around the mountains. I have a friend with a Mazda MX-5 Miata, and he can just rip through the mountains in that. Not because it has a lot of horsepower, because they handle incredibly well. Obviously because they're lightweight. Just coming around a turn like this, it is super planted, and that's why people buy these cars. It's not a fast vehicle, but it's an enjoyable car to drive. You can have a lot of fun with it. It's an affordable car to buy, and it's just a lot of fun to drive. You don't have too many creature comforts, but it's nice that you have the heated seats. The AC controls is probably my favorite part because it's very simple and straightforward to use. You have the screen right there. You can pull up the nav as I do right now, so you can see the road in front of you and know what turns you're coming up to, and just have a ball taking this out on a cruise. Moving on to visibility now while we're driving, it's pretty easy to see with the top up. I don't really have too many blind spots. Over my left shoulder, maybe just a little bit with this pillar here, but aside from that, you could see around that pillar easily because it's not a very large car. And then with the top down, obviously you have a 360 view, which we will take the top down here in just a second. But I really like it. These seats are very comfortable. I love these Recaros with the Alcantara and the leather. They are very, very comfortable and they hug me incredibly well. Coming to a stop here, we'll go ahead and take the roof down. It's manual, of course, so I can easily do this. You'll see the windows pop down just a little bit, lock it into place, and we are good to go. It is as easy as that, which I really like. You don't have to wait 15, 20 seconds for a automatic top to go up or down. You can easily do that even while moving, probably going slower speeds, of course. But let's go ahead and listen to that exhaust with the top down. I can definitely see why people love buying these cars. Hopefully you can hear me. My hair is blowing in the wind just a little bit, but it's very calm down here. I'm not going to be able to put that window down all the way because of my camera, but we can go ahead and try to get a crosswind going here. I mean, this is really enjoyable. You can just relax and take this on a nice cruise. It's that fun to drive. And coming around some of these turns now, it's just such a ball to drive. So coming up to a stop, I'm just gonna pull on this latch here. We can go ahead and grab this handle and we can go ahead and put the top up while moving. That is pretty awesome. Put the mirrors back up, or the windows back up. And you don't even have to wait. Very easy to do, which I love. I love that option. As far as all the interior space goes, you don't have a lot, but it's really nice how you have a lot of hidden storage space. There's the glove box right in the center, and then you have a little bit of storage behind both front seats, which is really cool. They're actually pretty large. You could fit a good sized water bottle in there, a small bag, anything that's kind of small, you have the option to hide it behind the seats, which is really cool. And then you have plenty of room in the trunk. If I were to daily drive this, I would have a lot of space for groceries and any other items that I would need. So you have a good amount of room for how small this vehicle is. It is pretty small, but it's nice how much room that you actually get. And then talking about all of the materials, I've already mentioned the seats, how comfortable they are. You have really nice leather and stitching on the steering wheel, and then not too much going on the door panels. You don't need a lot in this car. It's mainly just hop in it and drive. You have 3 pedals, so you can make this a lot more driver engaging. We can come up to this right-hand turn here, rev match. Wow. I mean, there's no body roll. That thing just hugs the turns just like that. It's very, very fun to drive. Very engaging with the manual. As I said, shifts are very smooth. You can easily get into the next gear, which is nice. It's so easy to rev match. I love the placement of the 3 pedals. I wear about a size 10 shoe. I can easily do heel toe downshifting and be comfortable driving this car. The pedal placement is very, very good. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of the 2020 Fiat 124 Spider Abarth. Once again, huge shout out to Benson Fiat and Alfa Romeo for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video.